Hello and welcome to the Met Office 10-day trend. Are you fed up with the rain yet? It's not been wet everywhere recently, but certainly parts of the UK have already had their October average rainfall and we're only halfway through the month. It's going to stay unsettled over the next few days, particularly in those areas where we've seen a lot of rain. But the good news for those places is that next week promises some drier periods of weather. It's not going to be completely settled through next week, but longer breaks in between the rain. What's happening with our weather? Well, at the moment, we've got low pressure firmly in charge. That low pressure brought in by a powerful and fairly flat jet stream. A jet stream at the moment behaving like a superhighway, directing these low pressure systems, driving them across the Atlantic and sending them our way. But if I flip to the start of next week, you can see a big change in the shape of the jet stream. Rather than a superhighway, it becomes more like a meandering country lane. And as a result, those low pressure systems will be slower moving. And in between, we'll have longer periods of high pressure instead. But returning to the current situation, because we've still got plenty more low pressure to come over the next few days and into the weekend. It's actually this low pressure that moves in and sticks around. Its main weather fronts are out of the way, but there'll be further weather fronts wrapped around it, bringing some longer spells of wet weather with them, especially this feature early Thursday, moving across central southern England. And then by the afternoon, it's wet across East Anglia and the southeast. Once that clears out of the way, drier and brighter in the east. Further blustery showers into the west, particularly Wales, Western England, seeing quite a number of these showers. And again, overnight Thursday into Friday, early hours of Friday, you can see some very wet weather, some very windy weather, coastal gales, a lively night on Friday, and then a lively morning rush hour for East Anglia and the southeast as this wet weather moves through. But again, on Friday, once that clears out of the way, brightening skies, some sunshine in the east, further showers blown in from the west to affect western parts of England and Wales. And again, a blustery breeze could be quite tricky on the roads, especially around South Wales, for example, on Friday. Low pressure still there through Friday night into Saturday, but you'll see ever so slowly the isobars start to disappear. The low is filling, the winds start to ease away. That means that we'll wake up on Saturday in some places, central northern Britain, to some fog patches. But there'll also be further showers, especially around coastal areas overnight, and then by day, just about anywhere could see showers. Now, there's some uncertainty over the extent of some more prolonged wet weather across northern Britain through Saturday and Sunday. It looks likely that northern and northeast Scotland will see some persistent rain on Saturday, and then that could drift south for Sunday. It's in this general area where it's likely to be further unsettled weather with outbreaks of prolonged rain at times perhaps, and a lot of cloud cover. Elsewhere, it's more scattered showers, particularly across western coasts of England and Wales. A decent area of shelter here, mainly dry for East Anglia, but also a small part of western Scotland seeing some dry weather. And it's actually this that will become the trend into the start of next week. Drier weather coming in from the northwest. Not just the northwest actually, all the way from North America. This is Wednesday, so this is the time of recording. Jet stream flat and active across the Atlantic. But over North America, a big bump there starts to develop, and that ripples downstream, heading up towards Greenland by Saturday and then into Sunday. You can see that bump starts to topple in from the northwest over the UK. What does that mean? Well, essentially within that bump here is an area of high pressure. And with that high pressure coming in from the northwest, it's going to start to settle things down. It's going to move that low pressure away and reduce the showers for the start of next week. So, showers easing early next week, Monday, Tuesday, most places becoming dry. There could be some lingering of the showers across southern areas before the high pressure moves in. But of course, with dry weather at this time of year, with clear skies by night, there's always the potential for some dense fog to form, and that will take some time to clear during the mornings. Now, with the high pressure moving in for next week, a good chance of more settled, prolonged dry weather for the early part of next week. But then the jet stream becomes a bit more flat again, a bit more active, helps to send this low pressure across northern Britain for the middle of next week. And we've got quite high confidence that we'll see some unsettled weather returning Wednesday, Thursday next week, especially in northern Britain. But further south, where we've had a lot of wet weather recently, perhaps not so much rain. However, we have got low pressure around the Iberian Peninsula, and that's worth keeping an eye on because it's indicative of a jet stream that's still in a bit of a mess. It's still quite meandering in our atmosphere, and that causes some uncertainty for the end of next week because, of course, when the jet stream is a bit more like a country lane, it's more difficult to predict the direction and the speed of its low pressure systems that are travelling along it. So for the end of next week, there are a few scenarios, but there's a lot of uncertainty by the time we get to Friday, Saturday. This low moves away, and then it's possible that we'll get a cold wind for a time. It's also possible that this area of high pressure will move in and bring more widely settled weather with frost and fog and that sort of thing, but bright days. There's also a possibility that we'll have low pressure returning but sticking around for some time. So there's a few possibilities, but what looks unlikely is that the jet will be a straight line bringing low after low after low. It looks more likely that the weather will be including more prolonged dry weather next week, a break in the rain, much needed for southern parts of Britain especially, and also some fog around by night and by morning. So this is a trend. It gets more uncertain next week, but you can keep up to date with the very latest forecast day by day by following the Met Office on social media. Bye-bye.